What has to happen here for the Cavs to win this title?
Well, it would seem that you need Kevin Durant to turn into Harrison Barnes. You need Draymond Green to get suspended for a few games, and you need Steph Curry to get injured. If those three things don't happen, I feel like it's going to be a pretty easy series for the Warriors. And I mean, the only thing that makes me hesitate about that is LeBron James is LeBron James, and he has a chance to do what he did last year, which was unthinkable. I find it hard to believe that he'll be able to do that 2 years in a row, but it could happen. But I'm pretty sure that Kevin Durant is not going to start shooting like Harrison Barnes out of nowhere, because they were leaving Harrison Barnes open last year, if you remember. That's what allowed the Cavs to play much better defense than they had in the past, or than anyone had against the Warriors, where they were leaving Harrison Barnes open to kind of clog up the lane and make it more difficult. You know who they're not going to leave open? Kevin Durant or Steph Curry or Klay Thompson. It's nowhere to go. Draymond Green is shooting really well in the playoffs. I don't know who you leave open.
That's actually good analysis, but what I will say is that sometimes the best option for your defense is, amazingly, leaving Klay open to shoot a three. Like, sometimes, given all the options you have as a defender, it's like, well, I guess the lesser of all evils is Klay Thompson, maybe the greatest shooter ever, open from distance. Oh, well. So, I mean, what can you really do? I would say this, though. Last year, the bigs were so small for Golden State. First of all, Bogut's not there, and in his absence, Maurice Spates was their best big, and he doesn't really play like a big, and Festus Ezeli came up smaller than you could possibly imagine. I mean, that was a disgraceful performance under pressure by him, not just Harrison Barnes. Both of those, Festus Ezeli and also Harrison Barnes, couldn't, what's the expression, hit the broadside of a barn with a handful of buckshot. I mean, he couldn't hit anything. So you're right, KD's hitting that shot. How does Cleveland win? Well, here's one way, potentially. You know, as much as the game has changed, not as much low post scoring and all that, the geometry of the game is largely the same. Either you're effective in the paint or you're not. And one of the ways the Cavs are effective is when they get to the paint. When LeBron gets ahead of steam, you can't stop him. You got to have him pick up the dribble somehow or get the ball out of his hands, because once you get to the paint, either you score or someone's open because the defense has to collapse. The Cavs have two guys who can do that. So when they surround them, and three when you count Darren Williams, really, as a guy off the bench, when LeBron's playing with that second unit, Channing Frye and J.R. Smith and Kako, all these guys who can shoot the lights out, that's really tough because he can get to the paint. I mean, the Warriors, even with all their jump shooting, the reason they can play five out and be effective is because Steph and Klay change the geometry, because they pull you back off the three-point line, creating even more space. And with Steph's handles, he can get to the paint, creating the same thing. So here's a way the Cavs can win. They can't keep the Cavs ball handlers out of the paint. Therefore, all the shooters are hot, and that all-time great Cavs offense just can't be stopped. They simply score more points than Golden State, even though they don't defend.
That you are bringing in players who are really bad at defense. Frankly, they're great shooters, but they're really bad at defense. So then you're going to try to get into a shootout with the Warriors, and leaving Klay Thompson open, while that may be the best option, it's a terrible option. The way that the Cavs could potentially win is not to try to out-warrior the Warriors, but to win on the boards, because you don't beat the lineup of death. You don't beat all those small shooting guys by trying to outshoot them. You beat them by not giving them any second chance opportunities and getting more possessions by getting second chance opportunities, which is why I believe Love and Tristan Thompson need to be huge in this game, getting rebounds and ending those possessions. And it's also scary about transition, because the Warriors have four guys on the court at any time that can get right into transition. And the Cavs need to get back on D, rebound the ball, play good defense, force the Warriors to bring in their centers, JaVale McGee and guys like that. And
who've been playing well, by the way.
Right, who have been playing well, trap them off the pick and roll and force them to give it to JaVale McGee and hope that he makes a mistake, doesn't pass out or doesn't finish. But he's been doing that well, so this is why we all agree the Warriors are heavy favorites.
As I said, the bigs this year are a huge improvement from the smalls, really. Those bigs played small. No Bogut. Ezeli was as small as could be, and Spates isn't really a big. So McGee rolling to the basket's better than any one of those guys, unless he has an epic choke, even by his own level, if he falls off of that to the extent that, say, Festus Ezeli did last year. Other than that, it's going to be really tough to beat these guys. But you bring up something else about the Cavs. Tristan Thompson, yes, he controls the offensive boards. That's going to be huge, but you give up long-range shooting. Thing about Kevin Love is you don't. It's one of the things that makes him so effective for this team is 3 things he brings to the Cavs. Stephen A. and I were arguing about this when he was pro Carmelo instead of Love, and I think Love is a much better fit on the Cavs than Carmelo would be, is that Kevin Love, the 3 things he brings you: long-range shooting, which is exactly what they need in this situation, offensive rebounding, so you don't give up the glass while you get the long-range shooting, and outlet passing, where he is among the best I've ever seen.
Right.
You know, those 3 things in Love, you get all of that in the same package. And if you play Tristan Thompson at the 5, then actually, okay, so you have 1 guy out of 4 on the floor who can't shoot. That's not a 5-out lineup, but it's pretty damn good.
I mean, that's all very good, and I agree with you on all those points. But the thing that's scary about that is transition. The Warriors are tremendous in transition, and if you are pounding the boards, while you may get more rebounds and you may win that way, you're giving up easy buckets in transition, which are often open threes. Kevin Durant, 7 foot. It's not like he can't rebound. He catches the rebound, and you're right into the break with two of your players under the bucket. So that's terrifying. There's really no option in my mind that makes me think that the Cavs have some sort of advantage, which is why you kind of have to hope that somehow LeBron goes to this new level, that it requires even higher level than he reached last year, even higher level than he's played throughout the playoffs. That's the only hope, is that LeBron can reach some new godlike level that we've never seen him before, which is why I know that he has the most to lose, because he will then be in the Jordan conversation at the end of this series.
That's called the most to gain. He doesn't. If we've never seen it before, it means he hasn't done it yet. He doesn't have it yet. These are very simple definitions.
Oh,
boy,
gosh.
These NFL owners must be stupid. When you're out negotiating them as the head of the players unit, if these arguments worked on them, I want to own an NFL team to negotiate against you.